know the real reason why lightning never strikes the same place twice is because Bolt never stands still. Now thanks to these, Bolt never stops getting better. What's happening, everybody? Hope you guys are feeling great. I'm Team Kills, and what I like to do is make gaming easier. And welcome to Bolt's high voltage upgrade. I think that's what I'll call it. For the sake of time, because nobody wants this to be a 25-minute video, I'm going to show you guys 3 builds, but I'm only really going to talk about one. So, first off, the Ark of the Covenant build. Yeah, like Indiana Jones, Ark of the Covenant. This is the desired effect I was looking for. And this is the exact effect that I'm getting. This works on all factions, including humans. They're going to leave as quick as the enemy is going to die. Unfortunately, it's going to be just you, because nobody but you likes this kind of power. It'll clear a room. And then there's Sonic, as in Sonic Speed or Sonic the Hedgehog. I guess that's the same thing. I swear to God, that's not why he's blue. It's just, as you guessed it, this is solely about speed. I'm trying to get there before there was even rendered. This is just for fun, and it is fun. It is fast, almost too fast. Is it faster than Gauss? I don't actually know, and I don't want to get into that argument. Now, what I want to get into is the Storm build. Alright, so this is the part where you bookmark or subscribe or whatever. This is where it gets sticky. It's a full build, almost full, so I'm going to try and keep it quick. And only talk about the things that are electrifiably relatable. I can't believe I got that out. Now, let's start off with Growing Power, Archon Stretch, and Shocking Speed. Growing Power is an awesome mod. When you infect an enemy with status, you will get a 25% boost. This mod is awesome. It has to be from your weapon, not your warframe. It won't work from weapon radial effects, only the weapon bullet. Your Sentinel's weapons, those work too. If you get a slash status proc on somebody, it's going to refresh your growing power with every single tick. If you have an ability that runs on a timer and you turn it on during your growing power buff, that buff is going to last more than 6 seconds. It's going to last until that timer runs out. Growing power is freaking awesome. There's a bunch of other things which have a video of its own. In this build, I will be receiving electrical weapon status pretty much all the goddamn time. So it's going to keep this thing running at always. Archon Stretch, it increases my range, but it gives me energy when my Warframe's abilities cause electrical status, which is also all the goddamn time, thanks to Elemental Ward and Shocking Speed. Elemental Ward gives you a 30% shield capacity buff, which more shields the better. That actually really helps with a separate weapon build that I'll talk about in a second, but more shields the better. And you get a 25% status chance buff, which is perfect for everything that I'm doing here. A 10 times damage multiplier is always welcome, and this mod literally shocks people when they are 12 meters away. So, I get electrical status from my abilities. Shocking Speed, it shocks enemies for 300 damage when they get within 3 meters of me, and you get a guaranteed electrical status proc when you're under the Speed Force, which is when you're using your speed ability. By the way, Volt's Shield, you might as well pick that up and run with it, because when you shoot through it and slash through it, you get an extra 50% electrical damage, and that's an electrical status through an ability. Now, you can prime your weapon. Well, of course you could prime your weapons. I mean, you could prep your weapons with the Narman School of Focus. First, Power Spike, it pauses my combo counter, so I don't need any combo counter mods, which is perfect because this is technically a melee build. Void Levitation, this is one of your operator abilities. It sends out a wave and it will lift enemies for 4 seconds. Now it's pretty good as far as crowd control, but if you hit one of those enemies with your operator, you'll get a 50% boost for your weapon for 50 seconds. So if you hit 4 enemies because it stacks, you can get a 200% boost for a minute for your weapons. This is a good way to prep your weapons. Now, speaking of prepping your weapons, I also placed a Tau Forged Violet Archon shard on him. This guarantees me a 45% electrical damage for my primary, and I gain an additional 15% per Crimson, Azure, or Violet Archon shard that's put on him, which is red, blue, or purple. The red and blue makes the purple, so anything in the family will boost it. So my anything math goes to about 105%. That's added for my prep. I also added 4 Violet Archon shards that will give me a 25% melee critical damage. So that's 100%, and that doubles when your energy max is over 500, and Volt energy max is, so that's, I guess, 200%. You can really see the critical damage boost in weapons like the Seti Lacera, however that's said. Its damage goes from 2 to 6. Now, this is a status weapon, mainly because of growing power electricity. This is what I'm doing for this build, and I also have Condition Overload on here and Melee Influence. Condition Overload gives me an extra 80% damage per status affecting the target, and Melee Influence on electrical status has a 20% chance to electrify everybody in the room, well, up to 20 meters, for 18 seconds. Now, this is like a growing power magic wand. It's another reason why I want to keep it going. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Volt shields, about the more the better, during the elemental ward, and I also mentioned that this is a melee frame. So you might want to do a blood rush, which is a good idea. If you're going to do a blood rush, Arcane Melee Retaliation, this gives you a damage boost depending on how much shields you have. So, I would swap out Influence for Retaliation. And then my purple Archon shards are going to bring the critical damage up to a ridiculous level, especially if you're using a crit weapon. I'm still using this status weapon as an example, and it has my crit damage up to 9 times. It's crazy. So is the Atmos. It's just an awesome weapon, or a great weapon, period. It has its Incarnate Transformation, which is also great. It's explosive, which is great. Super high status and high damage, great. But honestly, I picked it only because I'm moving way too fast to aim. It's an actual issue. So I picked weapons that I don't have to aim. Plus, Arcane Conjunction Voltage, I wanted to use that one. On electric status, this buffs my reload, and it buffs my multi-shot, less aiming, for 12 seconds, but it does stack 40 times, so it's just another reason why I wanted to use this weapon. Same thing goes for the Emperex. No aiming, 50% status, it's technically a crit weapon, high chance of getting you a crit, low damage. It does get a boost because it's an electrical weapon, and its damage multiplier is 6.2. Primary dexterity, it's gonna stack to a 360% boost, plus 7.5 combo counter. That helps, but I won't really need it because of my Naruman School of Focus. But yeah, 360% boost after slashing only 6 enemies out of existence, which, like I mentioned before, that's what I'm doing here. My Sentinel, nothing special at all, really. It's Worm. I don't have an issue with Worm. I just like to spread it out. He's the winner of the draw. The major mods that I want to mention here is Negate, because it makes my Sentinel clear me of any status effects every 5 seconds. This is a useful thing. You can barely feel it working, but it's working. And Shield Charger, this just helps keep my shield up, and it helps keep my melee retaliation buff up. Meta Ray, Guardian, and Coolant Leak, they are also working, like they're doing what they do. But Coolant Leak, you're not gonna notice it. You're just moving too fast to notice them slow down. Now, I haven't changed my Parazon around, still set up for mercy kills. Mainly because I'm going too fast, I'm not going to get them. If I do get a mercy kill, I would get a 50% chance it's going to drop an energy orb, a 100% chance I'm going to get a health orb, and on my next ability, I would get a 50% ability boost. But like I said, I'm not there long enough to stab him in the back. I just run on by, and whoever doesn't die right away, which is pretty much everyone, my electrical status will kill them on my way out the door. So that basically is my high voltage volt upgrade. It's mostly because of the Archon shards. A lot of these things can be done with different weapons. You could tweak this however you want, make it yours. Don't do it at all. It's completely up to you. Now this has run on for a while, so I'm going to wrap it up. So I hope this helped. I hope you join the team of killers. Become a killer of teams. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. One of the ways we could talk. Make sure you keep it easy in life. And remember, just keep gaming.